heart, identity sits at the center, not as a label, but as a pulse. Around it are the currents of cognition, core wounds, nervous system, attachment, love languages, and basic needs, the hidden languages of a life. The outer ring holds every relationship: God, romantic partners, church, work, friends. These threads feed the heart and receive from it. When identity is weak, wounds seep inward and drain the ember. When identity is strengthened, by knowing our function stack, facing our core wounds, regulating the nervous system, the heart pumps upward to the ember within. The ember ignites alignment with the Creator. From that alignment, life flows back out through every artery into every relationship, carrying healing instead of harm. This map is a discipline of awareness. It is a mirror, a circulatory system for the soul. It is a promise that what is healed within will heal what is without, that no wound is wasted if it is named and brought to the ember, that alignment with the Creator can make the heart a pump of life again. How to read the language of life map. 1. Center rectangle, identity. This is the heart of the map. Write your core identity statement here, who you really are. Example, interpreter of hidden languages, I speak truth to unlock and reveal. Bottom of the rectangle, language of life, the framework that carries your story. 2. Clock points, the hidden languages. Each point is a major influence on your inner world. Use these to name and observe the patterns that shape you. 9 o'clock, cognitive function stack, how your mind processes and expresses reality. Knowing this gives you language for your strengths and blind spots. 10 o'clock, core wounds, the deepest injuries or patterns that weaken identity when unhealed. Naming them brings them into the light. 2 o'clock, nervous system, your regulation state. Write both pictures, your regulated self, wolf in the field with his pack, and your dysregulated self, wolf crouched in the cage. 3 o'clock, attachment styles, how you bond and react in close relationships. Note your style, it influences every connection. 5 o'clock, love languages, how you most naturally give and receive love. Write your primary one here. 7 o'clock, basic human needs, your top needs, connection, significance, etc. These are your fuel lines. 3. Outer band, relationships around the edge. Name your key relationship categories: romantic partner, God, church, work, friends. Draw spiderweb lines from each inward. This shows how wounds from these areas touch identity and how a healed identity pumps life back out. 4. Vertical axis, ember and Creator. Just above identity, write the ember within. Above that, alignment. At the very top border, Creator. This is the upward flow. Identity, ember, alignment, Creator. When you strengthen identity and address wounds, the ember aligns with the Creator, and life flows outward again. #5. Reading the flow. Think of the map like a heart with arteries and veins. Work the inner pieces, function stack, wounds, nervous system, strengthen identity, rise to ember, align with Creator, pump healing outward into relationships. This turns your drawing into a map plus legend so that someone can both see and read it. The flow of the language of life map. All wounding begins in relationship. Those core wounds set the ceiling for your nervous system. Your nervous system thresholds shape your attachment style. Your attachment style shapes your love language and the basic needs you're most hungry for. Working inward on the map means tracing these lines back to their root. When you reach your cognitive function stack, you discover how you are wired, how you think, how you operate. This knowledge feeds your identity, strengthening it until you understand what you are made to do. A strong identity fuels the ember within. The ember rises into alignment with the Creator. At the top of the vertical line, under the border where Creator is named, write trust on the right and obedience or surrender on the left, two wings that steady the ascent. As identity rises and the ember ignites, trust and obedience hold the channel open. From this alignment, life flows back out through every vein of the map into your relationships, carrying healing instead of harm. Reflection prompts for each point on the map. Center, identity. Who am I at my core, beneath roles and wounds? What hidden language or truth do I naturally interpret for others? When do I feel most alive and aligned with the Creator? 9 o'clock. Cognitive function stack. How does my mind naturally take in information and make decisions? What do I do with ease? What drains me? Where am I most misunderstood? 10 o'clock. Core wounds. What early experiences left the deepest mark on me? What beliefs about myself or the world arose from those wounds? Where do I still feel most tender or reactive? 2 o'clock, nervous system. When do I feel like the wolf in the field? Safe, connected, full. When do I feel like the wolf in the cage, tight, defensive, hiding? What helps me shift back toward regulation? 3 o'clock, attachment style. How do I usually behave when relationships feel close or threatening? What patterns repeat in my bonds with others? What does safety look like for me in connection? 5 o'clock, love language. How do I most easily show love? What expressions of love land deepest for me? What leaves me feeling unseen or unloved? 7 o'clock, basic human needs. Which needs, connection, significance, growth, variety, contribution, etc., feel most unmet? How do I usually try to meet these needs? What healthy ways could I meet them more directly? Outer band, relationships. For each relationship area, God, romantic partner, church, work, friends, what gifts flow from me to this area when I'm healthy? What wounds from this area seep inward and weaken identity? What does restoration look like here? Vertical axis. Ember, trust, surrender, grace, creator. What is the ember within me right now? Where am I invited to trust? Where am I invited to let go? How do I experience grace between my trust and surrender? What alignment with the creator would look like for me in this season? The spiderweb flow. Heart identity as the pump identity. Your wiring, cognitive function stack, values, temperament is like the heart. It draws in reality, your relationships, wounds, and experiences, and turns them into blood. When identity is weak, the heart pumps confusion and pain back out into relationships. When identity is strong and aligned, it pumps healing, clarity, and trust outward. The circulation relationships, wounds, identity, creator alignment back out to relationships. This circulation either carries toxins or nutrients depending on what's happening at the center, identity and creator alignment. Trust and obedience as oxygen. As trust grows and you willingly cooperate with what's good for you, the blood gets oxygenated and feeds the ember inside you. The nervous system. The caged wolf. A dysregulated system keeps you reactive, numb, or shut down, which then distorts relationships and identity work. Think of it as the pipes and pressure valves of the heart web. If they're corroded, even pure blood can't flow well. Practical healing of the nervous system. What research and trauma-informed practice converge on. Safe, predictable environment. You can't downregulate a nervous system in chaos. Small, consistent routines, gentle lighting, predictable sleep-wake cues calm the vagus nerve and signal safety. 2. Microdoses of exposure. Like taming a wolf. Step closer slowly, don't flood the system. Tiny increments of what scares you or stretches you, followed by calm recovery time. Example, short social interactions, short drives, short stretches of vulnerability. 3. Rhythmic regulation. Walking, slow horseback riding, drumming, humming, singing, or slow breathing all engage rhythm and bilateral movement, which soothe the midbrain. Even chewing, gum, or slow exhalations can activate the parasympathetic brake. 4. Anchoring practices. Cold-warm contrast. Wash hands in cool water, then wrap in a warm towel. Naming 5 things you see, hear, feel. Grounding to the senses. Gratitude journaling, prayer, or meditation, not to bypass pain, but to anchor presence. 5. Co-regulation. The fastest way to calm a human nervous system is another regulated human. Safe touch, calm voices, eye contact, even gentle pets from an animal work as borrowed regulation. 6. Nutrition and sleep hygiene. Balanced blood sugar, omega-3 fats, magnesium, sunlight in the morning. These don't fix trauma by themselves, but lower baseline stress, so healing sticks. 7. Professional or peer support. Somatic experiencing, EMDR, breathwork, or trauma-informed therapy accelerate the gradual rewiring. How this fits the spiderweb. Identity. Knowing your stack and values tells you what calms you and what overwhelms you. Creator alignment. Trust and obedience become easier when the body isn't in a constant fight-flight state. Relationships. As your nervous system stabilizes, you can offer steadiness instead of reactivity, and healing flows back out. Open quote, your nervous system isn't rebellion. It's how the body has learned to protect you. Painful reactions aren't sin, they're signals. Where you have choice, I'll show you. Where you need healing, I'll help you. Let me walk with you as you unlearn fear and relearn safety. Close quote. You have identity, creator alignment, nervous system, relationships. Don't forget embodiment and joy, breath, movement, beauty, small delights. They are not luxuries, they are part of the healing circuit. Safety, rhythm, community, and play are as foundational as trust and obedience. The top of the map is the creator axis, your upward line of trust and alignment. The center is the heart, identity pumping life. The veins go out to relationships and back with wounds. The nervous system is like the pipes that let the blood flow smoothly. And at the bottom, a grounding line, sits embodiment, joy, play, beauty. That line feeds upward into everything else. It's the earth you stand on, the body that carries the spirit, the small delights that keep the system supple. Imagine a horizontal band at the base, grounding, with an upward flow feeding into the heart identity. Everything else is stacked or webbed above it. Life Source immediately evokes the image of a spring or a well. People instinctively think of water, living water, instead of only self-help or grounding techniques. Living water rising, feeding the heart with joy, play, beauty, and embodiment. A spring that rises up and nourishes everything above it.